This news update is brought to you by...
Hi, I'm Red Plastic Bag. Anyone who knows me knows I don't like cold. Sunshine reigns in my country. I love it.
Get your sun power.
This is the 7 a.m. Barbados Today update for Friday, March the 14th, 2014. I'm Emmanuel Joseph. Good morning. Barbados has embarked on a more than $40 million three-year program that's required for it to export certain food products to extra-regional countries. The project, which is jointly funded by the Inter-American Development Bank and government, is being implemented by the local National Agricultural Health and Food Control Agency. Project coordinator Beverly Wood tells Barbados Today the venture is aimed at bringing this country's fisheries and poultry sectors up to World Trade Organization standards, particularly for exporting and importing.
Part of it has to do with infrastructure for the laboratory services, and that's where most of the money will come from. But as I said, we don't have all the funds for that right now, so therefore that's where we are going to be seeking funding for that. And laboratories are expensive. We talked about 20 million US, but it could be a bit more than that to be able to have the program. So that's not really finalized as yet. Let's work with the 20 million that we started with, but there is a need for further needs. And it's not only with the laboratories at the ports of entry, the facilities to get better inspection facilities at the seaport and at the airport, because we import food and stuff at those locations as well.
It couldn't have come at a worse or better time. Just as members of the disabled community were speaking to the media about their efforts to get drivers to be more considerate of disabled persons in their parking, an officer of the law pulled right into a spot reserved for the disabled. It happened outside Carter's General Store, Wilde, as members of the Barbados Council for the Disabled staged a wheelchair blocking exercise. The officer was approached by Barbados Council for the Disabled Operations Manager, Rosanna Tudor, and informed of the parking infraction, but he continued on his way. Atiba Aluko says it's not the first time he has encountered this type of inconsiderate behavior from uniformed personnel. He says generally members of the disabled community have a hard time trying to access parking lots designated just for them.
On a daily basis, wherever I find myself going into corporate places, there are people park indiscriminately in the disabled spots without parking IDs, just running on. They say they'll be here for a minute, and that for itself is a challenge, because being a wheelchair user, I cannot use the normal parking lot because they need room to maneuver the wheelchair to get it assembled.
By placing wheelchairs in 6 parking spots, in addition to the 8 normally reserved for the disabled close to the store entrance, they hope to make more drivers aware of the need to observe disabled parking signs and demonstrate the difficulty experienced by physically challenged persons when all parking lots close to store entrances are occupied. Funding for the construction and maintenance of Island's Tenantry roads is expected to be massively depleted during the coming fiscal year. Government has budgeted the sum of $795,000 to carry out such work. That's a cut of $1.2 million. Consider what's been earmarked in the revised estimates of the current financial year. That money will be slashed substantially even further in government forward estimates for 2015 to 2017. It was a dramatic escape reminiscent of a movie, as the vehicle in which a teenage girl was traveling overturned at Trent's in St. James yesterday evening. While Natasha Farmer was driving along that road, she lost control of her vehicle. It slid and hit an embankment, flipping on its top and landing in bushes near the Frederick Smith Secondary School. Farmer emerged from the accident with no serious injuries.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Hi, I'm Red Plastic Bag. Anyone who knows me knows I don't like cold. Sunshine reigns in my country. I love it.
Get your sun power.
In the region, Jamaican dancehall artist Vybz Kartel has been found guilty of murder. The 11-member jury returned shy of 2 hours with a majority 10-1 verdict in the home circuit in Kingston yesterday. Kartel, whose real name is Adidja Palmer, was charged jointly with fellow entertainers Sean Campbell, also called Sean Storm, Kahira Jones, Shane Williams, and Andre St. John for the murder of Clive Lizard Williams. Only Shane Williams was found not guilty. Clive Williams was allegedly killed over a missing gun belonging to Kartel. On the global front, former News of the World journalist and royal editor Clive Goodman told a court in London yesterday that Princess Diana had leaked a royal phone book to him. Goodman, who denies 2 counts of conspiracy to commit misconduct in public office, told the court that Diana had sent a phone directory and other details about the royal household to the newspaper's office in East London. He said Diana, who separated from husband Prince Charles in 1992 after 11 years of marriage, had been in need of an ally at a very difficult time. He said one so-called green book containing confidential phone numbers of royals and their staff arrived at his office in an envelope with his name on it. That's been the 7 a.m. update. Join us again at noon. Until then, log on to www.barbadostoday.bb. Subscribe to our e-paper and like us on Facebook to get more news and sports. I'm Emmanuel Joseph.
This news update is brought to you by
Hi, I'm Red Plastic Bag. Anyone who knows me knows I don't like cold. Sunshine reigns in my country. I love it.
Get your sun power.